night. Shadows fall, dimming the light. Whispers grow, a rising tide. Vindicator, where do you hide? Steer his own, a heart ablaze. Through smoky haze, he sets his gaze. Justice calls a burning need. A city's wounds he vows to heed. From cobbled streets to tower high, Vindicator takes to the sky. Strikes back with iron hands, defender of this promised land. Breaks the chains, sets spirits free. Vindicator for all to see. Seek high! Seek high! Seek high! Whispers turn to thunderous roar.
Right, time to launch you into orbit. Wait!
Slams the door.
There we go.
Grasping hand, he fights for freedom, takes a stand with courage born of darkest night. He ignites hope, a guiding light. Strikes back with iron hands, defender of this promised land. Breaks the chains, sets spirits free. Vindicator for all to see. Though battles rage and darkness reigns, hope's ember burns within his veins. He'll never yield, he'll never fall. He answers freedom's clarion call. Strikes back with iron hands, defender of this promised land. Breaks the chains, sets spirits free. Vindicator for all to see. A symbol etched against the moon. Vindicator rising soon.
Hello everybody, how you doing? How's chat? How's things going? I thought I would do a bit of an early morning live stream. Like I said, no morning walk video this morning because I've got to be going out soon and doing things in town which I'm not looking forward to, but there you go. Auckland, wow. Canada, is that Canada? I think it is, it's Canada. Right, so this might be a bit of a controversial one because I'm going to be criticising the Unite the Kingdom march because I'm getting sick and tired of gatekeepers in this movement. New Zealand. All right, okay, yeah, Auckland's in New Zealand, right, got you, yeah. Sorry, New Zealanders. You know, I swear to God, there was an Auckland in Canada. From South Wales, okay. Yeah, sorry, guys. Great start. Yeah, just you know, misplacing an entire place on the planet. Yeah. Sorry about that, mate. Sorry. Right. It's early morning. My brain's not working yet. I didn't go out for the morning walk, which normally clears my head. So I apologise for that. So, like I said, the United Kingdom march, right? I've had issues with this since the last one. I thought up until the last United Kingdom march, I was kind of on board with it because I thought it was good for people to network and get together and stuff like that. I was kind of hoping that after the last United Kingdom march, they were going to capitalise on the momentum that it caused, the shockwaves, because it did cause shockwaves right through the political system. It did, but nothing was done to capitalise on it. Nothing. There were no follow-up marches. At the actual march itself, they didn't encourage people to go out there and say, keep the momentum going, and go out and do this in your towns, cities, and villages up and down the country. Wasn't encouraged. Nothing came of it. The momentum it created dissipated without doing anything real. I mean, ask yourselves a question: what exactly did it achieve? You went down to London on a Saturday, most expensive place in the country, to spend your money, which a lot of people don't have at the minute. Many people, spending £100 on travel and having to spend £100 on hotels, getting down there to protest an empty building. And that's the truth, isn't it? You're going down there on a Saturday to protest an empty building. Protests are only really effective if you have the mainstream media covering them, and none of the mainstream media was really covering it. That's the way I see it. I think it was started with good intentions, but as I said, we'll get to it. There was one particular comment today that pissed me off, that really flipped the switch for me. Really, yeah, that's it. I'm done with that now. There was just one comment, and it's like, yeah, I'm done with that. I'm not going to support that anymore because of what was said. I'll show you what was said, because it really pissed me off. And it was kind of, I don't know what it is, but you can tell who the centrists are now in the movement, because they act lefty. That they've started to act like the far left do. They really have. And because they're centrist, obviously they can flip-flop between right-wing positions and left-wing positions at the toss of a coin. They literally can. That's the issue with centrist politics. It just flip-flops about too much, which is why we'll get into it anyway. I was just annoyed when I saw it. It just really pissed me off, to be honest with you. That's just a random thing. That's when Restore Britain Fix Our Country wants to see this statue. Rupert Lowe with a wheelbarrow. Yeah, iconic. So is this. So I wrote this. So the UTK march isn't needed. There's a new rapidly growing movement uniting the right. It's called Restore Britain. All the gatekeepers of the right will soon become obsolete, because that's exactly what some people are doing. They're gatekeeping the right. Just as Nigel Farage and his Reform UK were gatekeepers of the right wing of politics, they were basically created to stop a true right-wing party from forming. They sucked up all the members, all the resources into their party, which they're slowly losing, by the way, now. I think the mask is well and truly off regarding Nigel Farage, who, by the way, I'm going to get into this in a little bit, because yesterday our right to trial by jury was taken away from us by these absolute muppets in the Houses of Parliament. Rupert Lowe, by the way, voted against taking away trial by jury, so keeping his word. Nigel Farage couldn't be bothered to even turn up and vote. He's been noted down as an abstain. I just want to put that out there. The guy who was supposedly saving the country couldn't even be bothered to vote or turn up to vote for keeping trial by jury. And that should tell you everything you need to know about the Reform Party. It really should. Not to mention the fact they're filling the party full of Liberal Democrats, Labour MPs, and all that kind of stuff. Failed politicians. They literally are not the party to save the country. And rightly so, they're starting to drop in the polls, because the penny has finally dropped that Nigel Farage and Reform are just not the party to save the country. And we're going to see Restore Britain snapping at the heels pretty soon. Restore Britain is about to surpass the Conservative Party in membership. It's slowly going past the 123,000 mark 123,000 being the membership of the Conservative Party. They're catching up with the big hitters at the top. They're soon they're the fourth biggest political party in the country now. So they're catching up. So they're going to be a tour de force. Anyway, we'll get into this comment because this pissed me off. Please note, I don't know who this person. I mean, she says here, look, Twitter personality, far right bitch, Zio shill, looks like a 40-year-old. At least one hater wishes to blow me up with a cannon, whatever that means. But yeah, right, okay. Notice how she calls herself a far right bitch, because this is how stupid these people are. I'll show you in a minute what I mean by that. Those not invited to the UTK are the far left, the Islamists, and the far right. So who defines who the far right is? That's what I want to know. Yeah, because we all know that the mainstream media, everybody seems to label everybody the far right that doesn't want their traditions erased, doesn't want their culture destroyed, doesn't believe that everybody that wants to associate themselves as English can be English. Apparently, all people like that are just called far right. This tweaked my interest because I thought, right, okay, so I want some more clarification what you mean by this. So, yeah, that includes you. Vicious grifting, that's ironic, calling people grifting. I'll let people comment on that in the live stream. Rapicious accounts, growing yourselves big on hatred. No one wants you there. Stay home and collect your clicks. Your time is running out. So I wanted clarification because I wanted to know who exactly she was talking about and who she didn't want to go. I didn't see anything mentioned about Restore Britain members in the actual initial tweet. I thought, right, let's look in the comments to see what she's actually talking about. People saying, oh no, what a shame. And this is this guy D. Was it D? Maybe a woman, don't know. Four nations, yet Don, Keith, and Ben Habib are discussing what makes a native. I guess me thinking I'm a native of England and other big names saying I'm not means I won't be welcome at the fucking I can't say it today. UTK, unless of course someone wants to clarify the term, which is what I wanted to see. Want someone to clarify the term. This is a Unite the Kingdom event. Tommy has made it clear who is welcome. If you fit his description, you're in that number. So who gave Tommy Robinson the authority to decide who's a real patriot or not? Who voted him into power? That's what I want to know. I don't like people take it upon themselves to label me something and decide something for which they have no authority to do. So we go down here and it kind of becomes clarified here. So obviously this is Restore Britain here. Look, she's a Restore Britain supporter. Oh, so just Zionist supporters and people that class all English as racist Nazis. Advance and Reform March then. And this is where she clarifies it. She clarifies it further. I'm English, not a racist Nazi. I'd be fully backing Restore as well if it wasn't being hijacked by people who have failed at every party they have tried to make a go of. What? Don't worry, chat. I'm coming back to you in a minute. I will look at some of the comments. But I just want to get through this. So that is clarifying for me that anybody that supports Restore Britain, by what she's saying, isn't welcome at the Unite the Kingdom rally. That's what she's saying. Let's look at it again. I'm English, not racist, Nazi. I'd be fully backing Restore as well if it wasn't being hijacked by people who have failed at every party they have tried to make a go of. Unfortunately, they are ruining for the entire country. So ironic shouting patriot as you do something to scupper us all. So she gets to decide who a patriot is. Carrie gets to decide who a patriot is. And the ironic thing is, she said in a comment that the far right aren't welcome. I know she's being ironic, but she's called herself a far right bitch. So you're not welcome. You're not welcome. You just uninvited yourself, Carrie. But I just wanted to clarify that. Because a lot of people have been asking me, will Tommy Robinson come out on stage and still endorse Advance UK? After everything that Ben Habib has said and done, will he still come out on stage? And that'll be interesting to see. But yeah, it looks like anybody involved with Restore Britain isn't welcome at the UTK march. So there you go, everybody. What do you think to that? Let's have a look at some of the comments. It does to me as well. It is starting to look a bit cultish-like, isn't it? So I'm just scanning through the comments to see what we can see. Thanks, Steve. To be honest, in September, and it was a great seeing all the flags. Did have my suspicions with all, yeah. Let's face it, right? It's called a Unite the Kingdom rally, which means uniting the United Kingdom. You know what, right? I'm just going to make this statement because a lot of people keep asking me, right? What do you think about Zionists? It's like, I don't give a shit. I really don't care. My main concern is getting the country back. What I will say is, right, I'm totally against any group of people that wants to undermine this country, that wants to get rid of our traditions, that wants to destroy our culture and actively have an agenda that goes against this country. So that encompasses everybody. That includes Zionists, extremist Jews, all of them. If you have ill intent towards this country, then you can take it as a given that I'm against you, no matter who you are. We'll make it even in a broader statement. I'm against all extremists. How about that? I'm against all extremists that have an agenda that don't necessarily have the best interests of this country at their heart. Let me just say that. That's where I stand on things. Yeah? I made it perfectly clear. That's my stance. If you're an extremist, then I'm against you. Yeah? Because most extremists have their own agenda. They will hijack causes to further that agenda that they're trying to push. Usually because they're not big enough themselves to push their agenda. So they have to attach themselves to a movement, a growing movement, and push their agenda forward. That's what they have to do. So if you're that type of person, then I'm against you. This channel is against you. Yeah. I think that's a fair and balanced way to look at things. No, I'm just saying, I'm just looking at the chat, I'm just saying, I don't care. You know, I don't want any foreign wars being played out on the streets of my country. I don't want any of that. If you want to do that, then you can take it back to the countries where the fighting is going on. This is our country. My main mission and the mission of this channel is to get our country back and to wake people up to what is going on. That is the main mission of this channel. If you have an agenda that goes against this country and its way of life, I'm against you. So I'm just looking like somebody's drilling somewhere, just like distracting me from it. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's where I stand on things. If you want to destroy this great nation of ours, I'm against you. It's that simple. And so are many, many other people. I don't care who you are. Irrelevant. I've got no affiliations to anybody. I've got no agenda of my own other than getting my country back, protecting it and making it a safe country again. That's the agenda of this channel. Yeah, I think I've made it quite clear. If you have an agenda that goes against this country, against the traditions of this country, then I'm against you. Say something new, please. Flibble, flibble, flibble. There you go. There's something new. Hey everybody, how you all doing? Right, let's look at something else, because that comment really pissed me off. Really got on my nerves this morning. It was like, who the hell are you to decide who and who isn't a patriot? And this is what we've seen happen. These gatekeepers, this privatization, as Tom would say, and 00 News would say, the privatization of the right wing, where they're making it an exclusive club. And the mistake was, in my opinion, I'm just going to be blunt about all of this, right? The mistake, in my opinion, was trying to form the movement around a singular party, which was Advance UK. They tried to politicize the movement, and it was a bad move. Tommy should always have been a broad church of everybody with all political views, but he didn't. He tried to make it all about Advance UK. Bad move. Really, really bad move. Well, that's the thing, right? All these people are now using the same tactics that we used against them to demonize others, and it's wrong. Look at what's been happening to Rupert Lowe recently. It's the same thing that was happening to Tommy Robinson. You know, they were calling him far right, and now the same people that were defending Tommy Robinson are now coming out and calling Rupert Lowe an ethno-nationalist, using the same tactics used against Tommy Robinson to smear him. They're no better than the far left media that was attacking Tommy Robinson, are they? They're no better, using exactly the same tactics. That's the issue I have. And over the last few weeks, because of everything that's happened with Advance UK, a lot of people have not only slipped, but have been ripped completely off. Oh, Tommy's a centrist. He's a centrist. His politics is centrist. He's not right wing at all. In fact, you could probably call Tommy probably a classical liberal. That's the point. He's another one of these people that thinks that if you feel you're English, then you are English, and it's nonsense. And it doesn't make me far right to say that. It's just bollocks. You can't feel being English. You were born English. You have to have a connection to the land through ancestry and DNA to prove that you're English. There's a biological element to it. And it pisses me off, because this is why I've labelled the live stream, our culture and traditions are being erased. And not just that, we're being erased as a nation, as a people. Because if anybody could be English, the English don't exist. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of this, isn't it? You know, we're fighting for our right to exist as a people. And there's nothing racist, xenophobic, or far right about that. And the people painting it as have got their own agenda. I'm sorry I've got to come out against Tommy Robinson. I never thought in a million years that I'd be coming out against Tommy Robinson's stance on things, but it has to be called out. Yeah? I admire his ability to rally the working class, but his views are deeply suspect. People should remember he's not sole voice of the ordinary British man. He's replaced. Well, that's it. You know, nobody made him the leader of the movement. I didn't vote him in. He doesn't speak for me on everything. And that's the issue I have. Because we always said there were no leaders of the movement. The movement is just fluid. That's how it should be. There are different leaders popping up all over the place. And it seems to me like Team Tommy wants to try and consolidate power at the top. That's what they're trying to do by smearing everybody else that they can't control. And it's wrong. We're standing against it. Nobody speaks for me but me. That's it. Nobody. They can pretend to. They can get on a stage in London and pretend they speak for me, but they don't. That's the way I see things. I've stated who I'm against. I'm against all extremists. Anybody, any singular group of people that have an agenda against England or the United Kingdom, you can count me as your enemy. I'm your enemy. Yeah? So that's a broad spectrum of all groups. I'm tired of being put into a box by people who have got no authority to do so. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are sick of that too. Oh, if you don't believe what we believe, you far right. You're a ethno-nationalist. Fuck off. You don't speak for me. Do the same way as fans, then they've not. The thing is, there's no need for it. There's no need for it anymore. The United Kingdom March was set up to be a movement. We already have a movement now, Rupert Lowe. And you know what? He is elected. The leader of the Restore Britain movement is elected. People voted for him. So, in a way, he has more authority to speak for me than anybody else because he was elected. Yeah. If you're going to be gallivanting all around America, right, whilst your country burns like a dumpster fire, doing the influencer circuit, fair enough, that's your choice. You would have thought that if you really cared about the country, you'd be in the country fighting for it, like all of us have got to. Some of us don't have a choice. We've got to stay here and fight for it because we don't have an out. We don't have an out. We're stuck. We've got to fight for it. We either fight or we disappear. And by fight, I mean, you know what I mean. Read between the lines. You know what I mean? Peacefully. I say peacefully, but read between the lines. We've got to fight for this country. We really have. And that time is fast approaching. I keep saying this, right? All these people that keep trying to put a spanner in the works of Restore Britain, they really don't realise what they're messing with. Because Restore Britain is our last best hope for peace. It really is in this country. Our last best hope for a peaceful solution. And we've got all these idiots in the centre trying to throw a spanner in the works of that, trying to slow down the momentum. They think they're the solution. They're not. They're the problem. They're just as much of a problem as Reform is. They're doing exactly the same thing. Now, some people might come out and say, maybe they're controlled opposition, maybe they're just, containment. And I fully believe, you've only got to look at Advance UK now. I fully believe that Advance UK is a containment party, just like Reform. That's how I feel. And you know what? They were shocked because Rupert Lowe came out, and he's not part of the establishment. He's not part of the containment. Why do you think they've been fighting against him tooth and nail? Why do you think that Advance UK and Reform haven't had their full attention on the hard left people that are destroying this country? They haven't been doing that. Their attention has been solely on Restore Britain and trying to bring it down and destroy it. And then you've got to ask yourself a question. Why? Why are they doing that? Why have all these influencers, these YouTube influencers, why have all the others come out and done everything within their power to smear Restore Britain. Why? When the real focus should be on the far left that are in control, these absolute lunatic communists out there that are destroying our country. When you answered that question yourself, you'll know why. We all know why. It did. It backfired on them. It exposed every single one of them that was containment, that is just there to give the illusion that they want to take back the country, but not really. They're not going to go far enough. They're not going to say the right things because they'll go so far and then they'll stop. As a young man, I was committed leftist. We did much less harm to the UK than the centre-right has managed to do in a decade. I don't even think they're actually centre-right. I think they're just centrists. I think they just flip-flop between both political doctrines of left-wing and right-wing when they want. And by doing so, it's like what my granddad said, that they're a jack of all trades but a master of none, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it's not just slipped, it fell off. When he played the race card, his mask fell off. Go and watch that video, by the way. There's a video on my channel from last night. Right, let's go and look at some other stuff. I'm probably going to stay until about 10:15, cover some subjects, because after that I've really got to get ready. So, yeah, we'll cover some more stuff. Let's go and take a look. Right, so we've covered that. So I want to talk about this video. I'm going to play this video because this is interesting. Now, I've got to be open and transparent about this. I don't know the full context of this video. So just take this with a pinch of salt. I can only go on by what's being said here. So let's see if it's sharing, because sometimes, yeah, it's sharing. That's good. In the UK, British men are beaten and arrested by police officers just for putting up British flags. The UK police state for natives and the playground for invaders. So we'll watch this video and we'll have a look.
Whoa, what are you kicking me for? What I've done is put a fucking flag up. What's he done wrong? What has he done wrong? Hey, boss, excuse me, what's he done wrong? What has he done wrong? Why? All I've done was put a flag up. What has he done wrong? Hey, boss, what has he done wrong? Hey, boss, why are you scared? Bro, hey, bro, what has he done wrong? What has he done wrong? Get the fuck! What has he done? Get on the floor! What has he done wrong? What has he done wrong?
Get back!
What has he done wrong?
Get back!
What has he done wrong? Wait, listen, don't push me. Don't push me.
Stay back!
I'll film it. I'll film it.
Okay,
What has he
that's
done
fine,
wrong?
but I'm
What has he
asking
done
you
wrong?
to stay back.
What has he done wrong? What has he done wrong?
Stay back.
What has he done wrong?
That's between us and him.
I'm asking you a question. I'm
That's
asking you
between
a
us and
question.
him.
What
It's
has
not to do
he
with
done
you,
wrong?
it's to do with us.
No. I'm asking.
You know what? To diffuse the situation, she could be a bit more professional there and explain what he's actually done wrong. To try and attempt to diffuse the situation, I'm guessing that she probably doesn't even know why they've got him on the floor, because from his own admission, all he was doing is putting a flag up, and they've arrested him for it, which is perfectly legal to do in this country. There's nothing illegal about putting up the flag of your own nation, is there? Like I said, though, take it with a pinch of salt. Don't know the full context. A Grok search was done, and this is the only clip that can be found. But going on previous incidents about the way that the police act in a two-tier way, is it any shock or surprise that they could be arresting a man for putting up a flag in his own country, the flag of his nation up in his own country? I don't think it's a stretch of the imagination to think that, is it? So that's what the chat is saying. You know, this is what it's all about. It goes all in. It's like it's the erasure of our culture. We're not allowed to have flags of our own country. I mean, we saw it back in was it the summer last year, or at the beginning of this year, when that young girl, where the police officer went up and snatched the Union flag off her for no reason, which was theft, by the way. Went up and seized her Union flag for no reason, snatched it off her and said, "You're not having that." To me, that was showing a political bias. That was that police officer showing that he was on the side of the other protesters. You know, we have like precedents set with the police about how they interact with patriots, don't we? That precedent has already been set. We know there's a two-tier system in place. So it's not beyond the stretch of an imagination that they would arrest somebody that's trying to put a flag up on a lamppost, is it? I'm just saying. All right, let's move on to the next story. It's a bit of a story, this is the one that is going to get everybody angry, because it did me. Fury as major St. George's parade set to be cancelled. Shameful. St. George's Day is England's day. If councils or immigrants don't like it, then they must understand they live in England. Fly the flags of pride, be native in England. Right, we'll go and actually take a look at the article. This is from the, I think it's the Daily Mail, I think. Is this the Daily Mail? Not sure. I think it's the Daily Mail. An MP has blasted a London council after it merged St. George's Day parade could be cancelled. Is that actually true? No, it's not. Right, I'm going to have to reshare it. It does that sometimes when I press the links. It doesn't share it. So, good job I checked. So this is it. So, yeah, apparently this is a massive... We don't have one in our hometown. Here in Chesterfield, we don't even have a St. George's Day. There's nothing for it. They don't spend any money, but most of that money is spent on the month-long Pride event, if you know what I mean. We don't get any mention in Chesterfield at all on St. George's Day. An MP has blasted London Council after it merged St. George's Day parade. Could be cancelled. It's not cancelled yet then. Havering Council said it cannot approve the Scouts parade in Romford on the Essex border due to public safety concerns. They always bring this up, don't they? Right? And yet there are no public safety concerns when we have pride marches, when we have pro-Palestine marches. Is there? There's never no public safety concerns then. It's only when English people want to be patriotic then the concerns come out. Local MP reforms UK's Andrew Rosendale accused the council of acting on spurious bureaucratic reasons because they say that it's not safe to walk along the street. The Scouts group faces an eye-watering £9,000 bill to hire a traffic management firm to enable the parade to go ahead, according to reports. Mr. Rosendale said the parade has taken place for years without problem. Wonder why it is. Very strange, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. Stop sharing that. Interesting, isn't it? When it comes to our culture and our traditions, not enough money. Can't do it for safety reasons, can they? Hey Annie, how you doing? Good to see you in the chat. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Public safety concerns are only ever about counter-protest actions. Yeah. I'm stumped to think of another nation so embarrassed by its national pride. We might be unique in history. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what happens in Ireland this year, because we always point to St. Patrick's Day, don't we? To say, look, Ireland can have St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day is even celebrated in this country, isn't it? Nobody seems to have an issue with St. Patrick's Day. It's only when it comes to St. George and England celebration, there's a massive problem with everything. I walked around town last year with a St. George's flag, a St. George's Cross flag in the town centre, and the amount of times I got called racist was unbelievable. But then again, my hometown is a lefty town. It's completely lefty. If you want to think it's like a Bristol of the North, Chesterfield, it really is. It's just full of lefties. By the way, this is probably one you should watch out for. Myself and 00 News, Tom, we're going to be covering the Mayday parade in Chesterfield this year, where all the communists come out. Myself and Tom are going to be there to cover it. So it's going to be some interesting times. We're both going to be asking questions of the communists, going around the stand up to racism stalls and stuff like that, and asking them the hard questions that they probably don't want to answer. So we'll most likely be getting some really interesting reactions from those people. This year, I'm going to be more prepared. Last year, I had my phone stolen at the event. Somebody snatched my phone because they didn't like what I was saying on the live stream about the communist scum that had taken over the working class parade. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. Yeah, if anybody wants to show up and support us, you're welcome to do so. Stand up and, because the Mayday parade in Chesterfield was traditionally for the working. I know I'm going off on a tangent, but I just want to explain. The Mayday parade was usually for the unions, for the miners' unions. It's when the working class miners used to come out with their brass bands and show their pride for what they were doing for the community. This was the time for the working class to shine. They used to come out with their banners and stuff like that, walking through, the true unions. But this is when unions were unions, when they used to look after the working class, not this modern day Labour Party and the modern day unions that are just woke, lefty shite. I'm talking about, proper unions that used to look after their members, not this utter crap that we see nowadays that is just intertwined with wokeism and lefty bullshit. Nothing like that. When unions did actually used to be unions. And it's been hijacked. Obviously, it's been hijacked by every single cause you can imagine. And it's just an absolute, pardon my French, shit show. And it's just hilarious to watch. It really is. So watch out for that one. May the 4th. Monday, May the 4th, I think it is, that we're going to be doing that. Tom's coming down. It's going to be a bit of an adventure. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Watch out for that one. Right, I'm going to get on with some of these stories, get through some of them. I've still got loads to cover yet. Right, so again, more evidence of our culture and our traditions just being erased because they don't like our history, so they've got to erase it. So many of you probably don't know about this, but yeah, the Bank of England has decided to remove Winston Churchill from the £5 note in favour of putting nature scenes. So that's what's going to happen. So the Bank of England will feature wildlife on its new banknotes because it's scared of being divisive. It states the theme should not involve imagery that would reasonably be offensive to or exclude any groups. When we had common culture, we honoured heroes like Wellington. So yeah, it's just they're just erasing our culture, just bit by bit, step by step. We're just being erased. You know what? I'd settle for a few bacon rashers. Just put some bacon on there, some bacon or a bacon sandwich. Because what's more English and British than a bacon sandwich? Yeah, just put that on there. That would really set the cat amongst the pigeons, wouldn't it? Oh, not this nonsense. St. George is also the patron saint of Palestine. Yeah, but not the Palestine that you're thinking of. You're talking of ancient Palestine, which was a Roman province, not the Palestine of today. Right. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at some of the chat. Must be remember, modern notes have trace of pork in it. Yep, they do. That's it. That's the one. That's what we need. A bacon sarnie and a cup of tea. Yeah. What's more British than that? Yeah. And maybe we can interact. We can change for different things on the notes and stuff. Well, yeah. Right. This is something else I want to cover. Right. I think most of you know about this. This is from Quite a colourful name, British bastard. So, did you know the UK has a written constitution safeguard from our ancestors to protect against foreign influence in power? Yes, we do. I think most of us know about that. The Act of Settlement 1701, Section 3, explicitly states no person born out of the kingdoms of England, Scotland, or Ireland, or the dominions thereunto it, belonging although to be made in a denizen, except such as are born of English parents, shall be capable to be the Privy Council or member of either House of Parliament or enjoy any office placed of trust, either civil or military. This law passed by Parliament in 1701 was designed to ensure no foreign-born nationals, even if naturalised, could hold key positions of authority, barring them from Parliament, the Privy Council, civil, military officers, or Crown land grants. Our forebears made it clear governance should stay in the native hands to avoid outside meddling. Though amended over time, e.g. equalising naturalised British citizens via later nationality acts, the original principle stands as a reminder of prioritising national sovereignty. What do you think? What do you think? Time to revisit these routes? Let me know in the comments. These are all things that, I mean, I've seen Rupert Lowe. He said that he's going to get rid of the 1948 British Nationality Act. He's going to abolish that. So that would, in a way, stop foreign nationals from being able to take office in places, because we look at what we've seen. People have dual nationality. I mean, we had a councillor, was it in Tower Hamlets? She's not even living in the country. She's living back in Bangladesh. She's still taking the salary of a councillor, but she's living in Bangladesh. So she's not serving her constituents at all. It's just, this is what needs to stop. Even the most minimum thing should happen. Like, if you've got dual nationality, then you can't stand for office. You have to give up your dual nationality. You have to become a resident of this country fully. And even then, I don't think any foreign people should be within our being. They can be easily influenced, can't they, by their own agendas? I mean, look at all the councils around the country that have been taken over by the Islamists. That you can go to a town council in some places now, and you can't. They don't speak English. You would need an interpreter as an English person to understand what's being said in your own town council meeting. They have call to prayer. They have Muslim call to prayer as well. This is what we mean by majority of our country has been colonized and taken over. But yeah, that's important to me. Let's have a look at some of the comments. I live on the front line of Tower Hamlets, the most corrupt council in the UK. I've been raising concerns for years. That's another big thing as well, isn't it? The move to trial without jury is horrifying, piss take, unprecedented magnitude. Yeah. David Lammy, the useful idiot, the controlled puppet, has just destroyed 800 years of freedom and rights in this country. So then, you don't have to be tried by 12 members of the community, your peers now. And the thing is, if you get put in front of an activist judge that is driven by ideology and his own politics, you're doomed. And this is exactly this. I was going to say this in the video later in the town centre, but I'll say it now. Right, this was the very reason why trial by jury was first implemented. It was to stop the state doing exactly this, inflicting revenge upon the people using kangaroo courts. So they put the decision into the hands of the people and not the judge or the state. So it was 12 members of your peers, 12 members of your community that would come out, and they would preside over you. They would decide if you were guilty or not, because that takes the decision making out of the hands of the judge and the state, which is exactly where it should be. This is why we fought a civil war, was to stop this sort of thing from happening, to stop the state becoming this powerful and this tyrannical. It's the very reason why the House of Commons was set up in the first place, was to take the power of the sovereign and give it to the people. That's why the people are sovereign. Parliament isn't sovereign, by the way. A lot of people get mixed up with that. Parliament isn't sovereign. People are the sovereign part of the equation. All we do is when we have a general election is we loan Parliament that sovereignty to act on our behalf. They're not sovereign, we are. Because at any point, because we're governed by consent, at any point we can withdraw that consent and say, we don't agree with what you're doing. That's the whole point. That's why it was done that way. This bill also had a grand jury system to take any take away power from the government and policies to indict someone. Yeah, they're slowly eroding the checks and balances away from our society that hold the state to account. That's what they're doing. If you look at what they're doing, I mean, the only people in history that remove trial by jury are dictators. That's the truth. The English are sovereign technically. No, not just technically, they are sovereign. They are sovereign. Parliament only has that sovereign power that we give to them via the general election by consent. So the people are always sovereign because consent can always be withdrawn at any point, any time. So look at this. Right, let's get 5 more minutes. Got 5 more minutes, and I'm going to start getting ready. But we'll have a look at the. This is from the Free Speech Union. It's only Tuesday, and this government has already announced an official definition of Islamophobia, an Islamophobia czar, and plans to push ahead today with restricting our ancient right to trial by jury, all of which will stifle free speech in this country. This is not governing in the traditional natural interest. What we're seeing is an attempt to reintroduce Britain's blasphemy laws 18 years after they were abolished by Parliament, and the biggest assault on British liberty, particularly free speech, in over 800 years. This government is becoming increasingly authoritarian and more bullish in its open disdain for free speech. The fight for free speech has never been more important than it is today. Can't agree with that more. Can you? We've already seen that where Beneby plays the race card. But I'm going to play this again because I bet not many people have seen this. But this guy's an absolute legend. We'll play this. This is the thing that I will end it on. So we'll play this because I think this is important.
You talk of war. You just fuck my country. Put my hands on you. There you go. Go for it, mate. I touch you on the kids. Take your hands off me. Let's stop, man. I want my country.
Go back the way you came from, man.
You laugh because they fucking come in.
London, mate. London.
You talk of war. You just fuck my country. Put my hands on you. There you go. Go for it, mate. I touch you on the kids.
Take your hands off me.
Let's stop, man. I want my country.
Go back the way you came from, man.
You laugh because they fucking come in.
London, mate. London.
Of course.
Fucking London. Anglo-Saxon English.
Fuck the London.
So fuck off back to where you came from. You have no business here with a mosque. No, you don't. Fuck off. Don't touch me at all. I'll break it.
If you're a teammate, everyone is father.
And you have no business here. Go away.
Go
back to where you come from. You're worthless. You're a coward. You wear a mask.
No, I don't wear them.
You have no business here. Take your mask off, you wanker. That's not very nice, now, is it? Your mask off, you wanker.
Take your mask off.
Take your
Take your mask off. Take your fucking mask off.
Racist, mate. Racist. What do you fucking mean? Oh, this is bullshit.
Now, fuck off back to where you came from before they set the old bill on you. Because I'm just Jack. They'll sort you out. Go back to where you came from, son. You have no business here.
How you can know?
Go
If
away.
you don't fucking know me, mate.
By
the way,
I'm taking 15 years.
driving now, so you better leave, mate.
15 years, and you cannot say me nothing.
I'm not
What
your
you can
mate.
say?
I'm not
That's
your
my
mate.
fault. You have to trap.
Get out of here,
That's
you
what people
fucking
do.
wanker.
Thank you.
Hey, buddy, all the police have left from behind you, mate.
Hey, look, 1,000 people. You say you is a wanker. You are a fucking wanker. Who is the fucking wanker?
Have a swing, mate.
Yeah, all people say you
Who is the wanker?
Who you are? Who? You just fucking
That's the worst London accent I've ever heard, mate.
who you fucking you think you are? He's a racist. Whoa.
I'm English.
Yeah, you
That's
know,
why.
you are racist.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just attack me and say who I fucking am.
If I'd
And
attacked
I
you,
must
man,
fuck off to my
You'd
country.
be lying on the floor bleeding
Fuck
like
off,
a fucking
mate. I like.
pig.
You
I'm just
talking
an English
shit
man
and what we
telling
got
you to
you
piss
and
off.
what you think who you are now.
I'm happy to be
And
alive.
the people, yeah, you are wanker and fuck you are.
Take your hands off me.
Everyone got
Or we'll
you.
be fucked.
Fuck you.
Take your hands off me.
You wanna fight me? Just do it for
Take your
Because
hands
of what?
off.
You just fuck my fucking.
Put my hands on you. There you go, go for it, mate.
I touch you on my kids.
Take your hands off me.
Absolute legend, isn't he? That's what we need. More people like him, willing to stand up and not be shouted down by the centrists or the lefties. Just stand up for himself. One man, stand up against the crowd. That's the British spirit. That's the English spirit. That's something that's been passed down to us through our ancestors. It still exists. It's still within us. It just needs to be awakened. It really does. The world knows, and this is true, the English, the Welsh, Scottish, Northern Irish. We're very, very welcoming people. We are. We're very tolerant people. But the one thing you should never do is piss us all off. Because bad things happen when you piss us off. As somebody's put in the comments of the day, we burn nations. We march across continents. Yeah. Don't fucking mess with us. Because it's that old saying, isn't it? Don't mistake our generosity as weakness, because it isn't. We're like a little pussycat. What pisses off, and we can turn into a lion in an instant. That's who we are. These peoples of these islands are descendants of warriors, warrior tribes, all of us. Scottish, Irish, Northern Irish, English, Welsh. That's something that people need to be aware of. We saw the Vikings, Romans, Nazis, and now scruffy third world bunted. Yeah. They've got to think, right, all these people that have come to this country to supplant their own culture, they've got to think, how hard did they fight in their homelands to protect their culture and their way of life? And to come here and to think we will do nothing less than that is just a massive miscalculation on their part, isn't it? And on that note, this is where I'm going to end the live stream. Thank you for coming along, guys. And I shall see you soon. Don't miss out tonight, 4 o'clock. There's going to be a premiere. What I've done is I've taken the section out of the live stream where Paul Burgess is refuting Richard Thompson. And I've made it into its own video so people can just watch that on its own without having to go through the whole live stream to see it. So watch out for that. I'll be in the premiere and we can discuss it as it's playing. But yeah, go and watch it. It's very, very interesting. very interesting about how he refutes what Richard Thompson is saying, and it just exposes the inner workings of Advanced UK. So watch out for that at 4 p.m. today, the premiere. You should have all got notifications by now with that, but I shall see you all later. This is Vindicator. Sign off. You all have a good day.